bring this meeting to order. Thank you, everybody. I'll do roll call. Councilmember Evans is not here, but Councilmember Baldwin is here in his stead, and Watson is here. We'll go on to reports and presentations.
I don't see
Brian?
Yes, hi.
Hi, Brian. It's nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Go ahead, I guess. You got the floor.
There's Shawnee out there.
He has the reports. That's Ryan's.
That's fine.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Mhm.
So, for this week, the weekly staffing update.
Is there hard copies of that?
I'm sorry, was that?
Is there hard copies of the report?
Shawnee has them, but I'm not sure where Shawnee
I don't
is.
think did we get one email?
We got one today. In fact, I'll forward it to you.
Yeah, I think I just missed her, and I apologize. But when she gets her, she probably will have those with her. So starting on September 1st, we just wrote an offer letter and sent it out to.
Here's Shawnee.
Speaking of the devil,
Hey, I was down the hall.
We were
Public
looking-
services was going.
I was looking for my hard copy of
Hey, we're
staffing
here.
update, but I got it
Hello,
online.
hello.
I'll hand it back over to
Hi,
Shawnee.
Hey, Shawnee.
You've done a great job so far.
Okay,
Thank
would you take
you.
one and pass it down?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
It's all
Here you
over.
go.
Thank you.
Here you go,
You
Ryan.
got Terry?
I got some here.
Okay,
Yeah.
Brian, do you want one? Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Awesome. Sorry, I am a minute late. I apologize. Where are we at?
We're just at you. Yeah.
I just started the hire letter, but that was as far as I got.
Thanks. So yeah, we're really glad that we're going to have Russ Schaub starting September 1st. He's moving here, and we'll be all set to go as assistant planner. Jason's really excited to have his group up there, almost fully staffed. You know that Roy's leaving, so we'll be almost fully staffed. No conditionals right now, but you can see that we're receiving applications for the senior building inspector. That's Roy's position. Hopefully we will find someone soon, but as you probably know, it's not going to be the easiest to recruit for a senior building inspector. Maintenance worker 2, we are in process with that, so we hope to do an interview pretty soon. Accounting specialist and cashier, 33 or so applications.
Wow.
Pretty decent.
Good.
15 of those are moving on to screening interviews, which we're going to do on Friday. So we're hopeful to have that staffed early September. Police officer, we certified scores recently, and we have 2 applicants that were added to eligibility lists. So the chief, after he is back from vacation, will then be able to do chief's interviews, and we have 1 vacancy to fill there, hopefully at the exceptional or lateral level. Other than that, we have some continuous part-time positions open, etc.
Al's still hanging in there, huh?
Al is still in the process of figuring out his move and everything, so we're working with him. Expected retirement is the same as I said previously. I believe I said early to mid-September. Hope that's what I said. Out of class assignments, no changes since the last time. You can see Brent Hoff is acting assistant superintendent. That was for Steve Willitson, who retired. Keith Proctor is the acting lead. That's because Brent stepped up. Doug is the acting city engineer. We expect to open that probably late August, early September. We didn't have to drag that one quite as long as we thought. And then, of course, Chuck is continuing to be the admin services director. Other than that, you've all met Brian Sandler now, who is our HR manager.
Welcome again.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here.
Very thrilled to have him here from the city of Renton. And then we had our other 2 recent hires, Matt Bailey to fill the position under Chuck, and then Vlad, our building
Chuck's
inspector.
happy.
I think Chuck is happy. Chuck is happy. Vlad, who's our building inspector, so he's learning as much as he can from Roy before Roy separates. So we're working on a plan of action there for how to continue to give him the training he needs, as well as to just get any.
Did he come from another city? Is he have what kind of background?
So Vlad came from the city of Bellevue, but not as a building inspector. He was maintenance worker, but he has many years of experience related to construction and partnered with a family member for a business. So he's used to seeing a lot of the things a building inspector might like read, but there's a lot to to learn going out and doing the actual inspection. So that's where Roy's, trying to fill him in as much as he can.
I'm sure Ryan can teach them all that stuff.
Promotions, the only one we talked about last time was Caitlin Forsberg. That now took place, so she is now the permit technician. Very happy about that. And there's no other items to note. Any questions?
I had a question on some of the out-of-class assignments.
Yes.
Are those being looked at for permit promotions with those people, or are we still actively looking to fill those positions?
That's a great question. So Steve Willitson is the one that Brent is filling in for, and then Keith is filling in for Brent.
Right.
So Steve Willitson's position we will be recruiting for externally, but that was one we had to drag for some months. So I don't have the exact number of months, but I think Ryan and Sherry worked out. I was 5. Yeah, so that one will, and then Brent will fall back and Keith will fall back, but that is open for internals to apply to as well.
Gotcha.
So if Brent would like to apply, that's great.
Sure.
The other one would be city engineer. Oh, go ahead, Sherry.
Sorry. And that's because we've had some significant payouts. So I had to evaluate the budget to see when we could hire.
That's right. I remember us talking about that before a little bit.
Always a challenge.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that, Sherry. And then Doug, acting city engineer, like I said, that one is going to go out, and he may apply. He's welcome to apply, but we are required for full-time to go out for the code. We were looking at that as well and seeing what our options were. Any other questions?
What are we going to do, Chuck, in the long run? What's going on with Chuck? And he's got so many hats these days. All the council members we talked on the outside this group here.
I can answer that.
Okay, thank you.
I don't want to put Chuck in a weird position.
I'm
So
not
that
trying
one's
either.
still being, so that one's still being evaluated by John and the mayor. And as soon as they make a decision, then, I'm sure they'll include Chuck in that conversation and move it forward through the council. As you know, with that position, there is the council requirement to advertise externally to hire, so that you're deciding whether or not they're going to try to come to you guys and, if Chuck's interested in the position and just like we did with Ryan's position, right? Council made the decision, yes, we can hire internally without going external. So they're still working through that process. I just don't want to put Chuck in a weird position and make him talk about himself here. So still sorting through all of that.
We've been asking each other what's going on, so that helps a little bit.
Yeah,
So
that
thank
does
you.
help.
Yeah, so we have a year on those positions, the director level positions, so he can serve until November. So it'll get sorted out before then.
Cool.
Thanks, Sherry.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's see. Our next business and action items, AB 22-109, Resolution 3070, Attorney General's opioid settlement participation plan.
All right, thank you. So previously, with resolution number 3040, council agreed basically to the disbursement of the opioid settlement. So basically, the Attorney General's office and then another law firm are suing the main distributors. I think there's Johnson & Johnson and then the big three. It's anticipated any day now the settlement's going to be completed. We're talking about a total of $430 million. Bonney Lake would receive 0.111 and change, but I rounded up just in the summary. It's 0.12% approximately of that settlement. Council's already agreed previously under Resolution 3040 to that breakout of the settlement, and each city's getting their piece based on how impacted they were by addiction. This is now basically agreeing to participate in the settlement and agreeing. The big thing is the city's waiving its ability to sue these distributors in the future. This is a really heavily litigated thing. I mean, it's basically been a couple armies of attorneys on both sides negotiated for years. That I would not recommend Bonney Lake take on a lawsuit
You don't
like
suggest
that.
us doing that. Okay.
I would recommend agreeing to get the funds. The funds do have to be used on abatement strategies for opioid addiction. There's a huge list of things that the city could spend the money on once the city gets the money. I think if for whatever reason at that point council couldn't find anything in that list that they wanted to spend the money on, I think probably could. I mean, it just has to have some sort of nexus to addiction. Then if for whatever reason council didn't want it, kind of like ARPA money, you could always just give it back to them and they would disperse it amongst the other cities.
Something else for sure to keep track of, huh?
It's money
Okay.
coming in.
Money
so,
coming in.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, well, I mean, we need that. We were just talking in public safety about the amount of drug issues and problems.
Questions?
Is that on the consent tonight?
It's consent, I think, for the next. Yeah, I think the next so in 2 weeks.
Approval of meeting notes.
I gave some to Debbie.
Add on for down there, AB 22-119, resolution 3070. A resolution of City Council of Bonney Lake, Pierce County, Washington, authorizing the mayor to sign a contract with Engineering Economics Division of Commissioning Agent Services for Public Services Project. I'll turn that over to.
Yes, please.
What is all
Ryan.
this?
We just had some conversations about that this morning, so getting this all done.
Yeah, I wanted to first say thank you. This is developing rather quickly, and it's one of those things that, to be honest with you, in our plans and specs, this is specified to be provided by the owner in order to get this project completed. And basically what commissioning agent is that they will come in and be a representative of the city on the project site, working with the contractor to test and set up for operation your HVAC systems, all the electrical stuff, the lighting systems, plumbing items. You know, for instance, in Building B, we have Roy calls it a hydroponic system. It's in the floor and it warms the floor. And so we need somebody there who is, one, familiar with these types of systems, and two, they have a whole slew of things that they actually put together. They put together a commissioning plan that the contractor has to follow to ensure that we're actually seeing these items tested and set up appropriately. And what that helps us with is, one, it ensures that we're using equipment correctly. And two, it ensures that as far as the manufacturer is concerned, it checks the box for them. So if we have that, will be honored. They'll also look at all the operations and maintenance manuals with the buildings. There's a whole stack of those that need to be reviewed and vetted to make sure they're consistent with manufacturer's recommendations, and so on. I actually listed all the tasks here that they plan to complete. They would be doing this for buildings A and B, as those are the two buildings that contain all of these systems. And then I have chosen to also add on to their scope the air compressor systems and the generator that's on site as well. This is something that's absolutely needed. We are at that point in the project where we need these people here now in order to prevent any sort of delay claim from the contractor. Which is why I'm trying to speed this through all of a sudden here. So I apologize, you're getting your first crack at looking at it
It's
now.
okay.
I just got the quote yesterday. And put this together. I finished this at 3:00 this afternoon.
Very
so
nice.
hot off the press. But I'm welcome to, obviously, to take any questions you may have. My hope is that you all will approve, and it'll be actually added to the council agenda.
Don't want to
Well,
delay
normally
it,
that would
right?
go to a workshop, Ryan. It's my concern about sort of discussing in a little more detail.
Yeah.
Instead of a council. I mean, I know you want to get it pushed through, but.
Yeah. At this point, it is, and it depends. There have been some items on this project where we have skipped the workshop route and just gone straight to the next council. In this case, speed is of the essence. My fear is that if we wait too long, then I'm going to start getting hit with delay claim that we're holding them up. And with as long as this job has gone on, they are looking for every opportunity to. that this contractor's profit is gone.
Mm,
It's, you know,
okay.
we're a year overdue, and they are looking to get out of here as quick as they can. But Tom, obviously, you know me, if that's your preference and that's what you decide to do,
Yeah.
I'm here to accomplish.
I know, I would say normally, yes, I would, but I know the need's really there, and I've obviously been part of this process, getting this building done.
Yeah.
When is the occupy date at this point?
So right now, that is still in flux because we're at the final inspection stage, right? So Roy's walking through the building, our architect is walking through the building, they're putting together all these punch lists. Actually, the punch list walk is still yet to happen. So depending upon how extensive those lists are and how quickly they can get their subs to come back to get them done, impacts when we can actually get in there. Don't want to move in before they're done with those items. So my goal and what the contractor has been telling me is that we could have the keys to the building, in essence, at the end of this month. I think that that's
That'd be good.
thinking really positive,
Okay. Right,
because I've already
Okay.
seen Roy's list from his walkthrough,
Okay.
and Roy's very thorough, let me tell you. And there's pages of items. Now, a lot of them are really easy to address. You know, at this point, you're hoping that, you know, it's things like, oh, there's a piece of trim missing there, or you hope that they're not going to find that, oh, there's something leaking.
Yeah.
So right now, Deputy Mayor, I tell you, we're hoping, to, like I said, to get the keys at the
And as far as the 20, it's 26,600 is the required expenditure.
correct.
And this is part of what was budgeted for essentially initially, or is this extra?
It was included in the plans and specs. It was
And yes, it was.
She was kind of shaking her head, yes.
yeah. So it's included in the total grand scheme of services that we were expecting to provide. It was just that somebody here didn't quite realize we were already to that point.
Okay.
And Ryan and I actually went through the budget this week, so I don't anticipate this being an issue.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Sherry.
Perfect.
That'd be important to bring up tonight because
Yep.
the Progressive Council has not looked at this,
Looked at it, yeah.
obviously, and I have a real problem.
Yep.
Again, here it is, prove it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, I also don't normally like that.
Yeah.
I want some time to look it over and whatnot. But I think we've all been through this process for quite a while with Ryan and Public Works and whatnot. And so that was our thought as well as to why to go ahead and move.
So it's gonna be on full council issues then?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
Okay,
what
so
we're
then
gonna
you can
do.
bring all this stuff up.
If we're good to go. Go ahead, Sherry.
To address some of your concerns, and Ryan can chime in here, but I think the cost of delays would probably outcost this project if you push this through. So, in having a conversation with Ryan this morning about this, I see no reason why we wouldn't move it forward. We all understand that you guys want time to discuss stuff, but this came up last minute. I literally got an email this morning about it as well. So.
Good job, Ryan.
Yeah. No, and believe me, normally I like to do a lot better than this as well. So that's why I'm very appreciative of it.
I don't have a problem with it.
I do not have
You
a
guys
problem.
okay?
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
Great.
So it'll be on full council.
Okay.
And that's kind of it. Any open discussion? All right. We are adjourned.
Easy peasy.
Thank you, everybody.
So Brian.